Hello and welcome to Unpopular Opinion with Schaafy and Pals, Season 1, Episode 4A. As you can tell, I do have friends. I have a pal with me. Holy crap. Is he a pal or did I just pay him $5 and I met him on the street somewhere? I don't know. We're going to find out. We want to welcome you back. This is Episode 4A, which is the second part of a three-part series. As we all know, that I have an unpopular opinion going on right now about the Seattle Mariners, and we're going to get into that. Of course, we got to give you, it begins. We got to give you an update on the Tahoma Thunderbirds. They play tomorrow night, today is October 30th, 2025, and they play tomorrow night, Halloween, 7 p.m. for the league championship against another undefeated team, the 8-0 Lakes Lancers. Boo. I wonder if there's a boo.
That'll do.
That'll do it. Yeah. I'll get them every time. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Let's go Mount Tahoma. Just incredible what they have been doing. We're really excited. I'm going to the game. It's going to be 7 p.m. Going to wear my Mount Tahoma gear. Don't forget, you can buy this stuff at Walmart off of Bridgeport, and I'm in the market for a Mount Tahoma hat. So if anybody knows where to find one of those, let me know. But without further ado, let's get the party started.
Unpopular Opinion, that's the name of the show. Hosted by Schaafy and some pals that he knows. We'll have a heart-to-heart, so tune in and subscribe. It's Unpopular Opinion and a hell of a vibe. Love it or dislike it, it's all just the same. 'Cause Unpopular Opinion is there in the name.
Unpopular opinion is there in the name.
Did you have the chipmunk sound in the back? I could have sworn I heard like the little high pitch. Because that's you singing, right?
That's definitely me on the lead. And then spare no expense, I went out into the yard and I got a chipmunk.
Yeah.
And I spent 3 weeks teaching that thing how to sing.
That guy knows what he's doing.
He absolutely knows.
That guy's legit.
Yeah. His name wasn't Alvin, it was Calvin. And it turns out he's got a really famous cousin.
Yeah, I think I've heard about him. I think I've heard him.
Yeah. Chipmunks. That's so funny. So welcome to the Unpopular Opinion with Schaafy and Pals. Today my pal is my good buddy, Donnie. Middle name redacted, Herb.
I don't really care. But no, thanks for having me. It's good to be on. You talked about the Mount Tahoma Thunderbirds going to the game. It is Halloween. I plan to be there too. You might notice Mike, yelling from the stands. You might find me in a corner chucking candy at kids. I'm ready for an early exit, dude. I'm ready to go.
Get ready, folks, because anything could happen when you're at a high school football game in Tacoma, Washington.
Listen, man, shit. Can I say shit?
You can say shit. You can say poop. You can say fuck.
I need to make sure.
We have made sure that this is expletives. Yes. I checked that box on both Spotify and YouTube.
It's not for the kids. It was going to demonetize.
Right. Doing my best.
But yeah, no, man, it's good to be here. Good to talk about some Mariners.
Yeah, the Mariners. Before we get into that, I want some folks, not everybody who listens might not know who you are.
Oh, they probably don't.
Fair enough. And that's okay. I know who you are, and I did the math. I've known you.
Well, before you go, just to throw a curveball.
Oh, I see what you did.
Yeah, okay.
I hit the wrong. That's funny. You're so funny.
Yeah, just to throw a curveball. Look, man, I excelled at English, not math. You're going to throw a lot of stats out there with the math and dates and stuff. Listen, because my story is really short on how I met Mike Schaaf. I have no idea, absolutely none, where the fuck you came from. Here's the thing is that Mike's been my good buddy now for 20-something years.
26 years.
Thank you. So you're
26
the math
years.
guy, right?
I'm the math guy. Sure.
Thank you. So no idea. All I knew is that all my friends, I hung out with them for ages. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Michael you appear out of nowhere. Like, out of nowhere.
La da da. There's like a light shined on me and
The classes that I go to, Mike shows up out of nowhere. I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
So That was my first thing. I knew it had something to do with one of the classes. Maybe it was us hanging out at across the ends of a group of friends. I don't know.
Of course. And that you're not wrong from the way I believe or the way I remember everything. It's very, very similar. Out of nowhere, Donnie was there, right? But I do remember the exact moment and date and what we were wearing because that's just kind of how my brain works. And it was about 2 p.m. on September 3rd, 1999.
Refresh my memory.
Well, and it could have been the 4th, could have been the 2nd. School typically starts September 3rd. Would you agree?
I'm in agreement.
Tacoma Public Schools typically starts non-COVID years, right? It starts on September 3rd.
I didn't skip. So, yeah.
Right. We were good guys.
Well, kid.
To be determined. We were in my favorite teacher of all time in my career. And I had a lot of great teachers. I don't want to take away from the Mr. Rainbolts or the, Mr. Myers of the world or Mr. B's of the world. But my favorite teacher of all time was Mrs. Pletcher.
Listen, man, I'll take away from them. Fuck them. The only one that I really recall is Diane. Like, I've had a ton of teachers at my time, and they've all done a fabulous job. But the only one that's really stuck, I spent hours on end with that woman.
Yeah.
In the morning time for English, in the afternoon for drama, after school for theater, all this other stuff. A lot of time. So, yeah.
You would concur.
Oh, absolutely.
Best all time.
Hands down.
Got it.
Still doing it.
I love it. I love it so much. So shout out to Miss Pletcher. We love you. Hello. Thank you. Hey, if you're a listener, cool. If not, no worries. We have only great things to talk about you. And the reason why we are here right now together is because of you. And going back, it was September 3rd, 1999. And she said, Michael, come here. Donnie, come here. And, you were always in the back of the room, and I was sitting wherever the opposite of Chris Lee, wherever he was. I was sitting on the other side because we banged heads for a while, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And she said, Michael, I want to introduce you to someone, and I think that you two would get along really well. And she's like, this is Donnie. And I'm like, hi, I'm Mike or Schaaf or whatever I said. It wasn't Michael. I wasn't going by Michael at the time. And I was like, okay, so we sat in the front right of the drama classroom, right up next to the stage. And we had these sheets that were like icebreaker sheets to get to know each other. And you were wearing something Seattle Mariners. I definitely...
Yeah.
Absolutely. I definitely remember that. And I was like, oh, you're a Mariners fan. Oh, man, I went to a game recently, blah, blah, blah. I saw King Griffey Jr. and Alex Rodriguez last year. It was incredible. Holy cow. Before summer break, we went to a game. And you were like, cool. And we started talking. And I was like, so you're like the new kid? Do you remember this? And I was like, so you're like new? At Mount Tahoma, this is your first year? And you were like, no, man, I'm senior. I've been here for 4 years. And I was like, no, at Mount Tahoma.
Yeah, no, been there the whole time.
Yeah, been there the whole time. And I was like, you haven't? I was like,
96 to 2000.
This is the first time here's my first thoughts. And I don't mean to like offend you in any way.
You told me we weren't going to be at odds.
We're not going to be at odds. My first thought was, this guy is extremely normal.
You're like, what a fucking nerd.
And I couldn't get over it, kind of. Well, a little bit, right? I couldn't get over. I was like, no, but what is Donnie short for? Like, is it Donald? And you were like, no, my name is Donnie. And Donnie. I was like, no, but like, what? It's like, is that like Donald's your middle name? Because I had another buddy who went by Donnie in the 90s because it was cool, right? I didn't know
nobody does that. Nobody's done that.
Fair. Well, he's back to his normal name now, or his actual his surname, right? So I couldn't get over the fact that your name was Donnie. You pulled out your ID and you showed me your ID, and you were like, look, right there, Donnie, middle name
School
redacted.
ID.
Yeah, school ID, Mount Tahoma. I was like, no ASB, huh, rebel? Yeah. And I couldn't get over. I was like, this guy is so normal. And then we started talking. I was like, well, who are like some of your friends here? And you were like, yeah, like Parman and Parker and Lee and Billy. And I was like, those are all of my friends. Like, how did we not know? And so it was funny because Miss Pletcher clearly knew that we had never met or something. And she was you guys would be great together. But she also saw that we had a lot of common things. I remember going through that worksheet and introducing ourselves, and like we had a lot of similar interests and similar. It's starting to come back, isn't it?
Yeah, it actually is.
Yeah.
If you didn't mention the fact that you had to go introduce the other person, I'd have been totally lost on it.
Right.
To be honest with you.
Then we had to stand in front of everybody and introduce them.
Yeah.
And then here's the craziest thing, and this matches with your story because you're like, out of nowhere, I was there. The next day, we were in creative writing class together, the period before drama.
Yeah.
had no clue that I was like, wait, dude, did you just? I'm like, did you just transfer into this class? And you're like, no, I was here yesterday.
Was Lee in that class too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, so I'm on the other side of the room. You're sitting next to Chris.
So, you bring up that story, and it really kind of makes sense because if you think about it, you have always been, from day one, you've always been that out in front of everybody,
Right.
in your face type of personality, I'll say,
In your
right?
face.
Personality was huge, right?
Thank
you
you.
could say the same thing about one of my good friends at the time, Chris Lee, right?
Right.
And if you are friends of those people, the aura around those other people that you hang out with on a continual basis, they kind of get overshadowed a little bit. Not in a bad way, I didn't care. I didn't need to. I
Right.
was friends who I was friends with. You know what I mean? If you're down, you're down. If you're not, you're not.
Right.
It is what it is. But I think that's the main thing. Is it's like, who the fuck is that guy? And it's been because I got big-headed Chris Lee in front of me, probably at the time, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? But
Right.
we linked almost, I would probably say pretty soon, right?
Right off the bat.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like literally that next day in creative writing class. I think I moved my desk. Mr. Rainbow let me move and I went and sat next to you.
Yeah.
And then we were just best buds.
Yeah.
And I remember
Easy.
that year I got you a present for Christmas. Do you remember this?
Was it the Seahawks shirt?
Was it the Seahawks shirt or was it a Mariners shirt?
Dude, it was. I know that I had a Seahawks shirt because I know that I offended the hell out of you.
Okay, so yes, it was a Seahawks shirt then. So I got you a Seahawks shirt.
You did.
And tell the world, tell Australia, because I got a listener in Australia, by the way. Thank you, whoever's listening. I hit the 100 streams mark on Spotify. I didn't mention that earlier, but
Really?
I'm really proud about this. People are listening to this podcast. We're getting a lot of good feedback, which is cool. It warms my heart. It just makes me feel so good. But I want you to tell the 100 people that listen to this podcast and the one in Australia what you did to the present that I got you for Christmas.
I cut that shit up. Look, you get at that point in time. What was it? 99, 2000, right?
It was 99.
I paid attention to football very early on, like 89 to 91.
Right.
And I was just like, it was whatever, and I might have got into it for whatever reasons at the time.
Right.
Maybe my family was into it or whatever. But I stopped watching. So I was just like, okay, well, whatever. And you gave me a long sleeve shirt, and it was just like, had the Seahawks on it. Now I'm just like,
the winter.
Yeah, now I'm like, man, I wish I had that shirt. You know what I mean?
That was a good shirt.
At the time, I was just like, how do I pull this off on a day? I was just going to cut the sleeves off of it. So I cut the sleeves off of it, and the look on your face, dude, you were like, I got you that gift, and you cut it up.
You immediately cut the sleeves off of it,
You
like
took
you
the
were
purpose
Jose
out of it.
Canseco or something. And I was like, yeah, you showed up and you were wearing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that the shirt that I got you? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, and you just thought that it was a great idea. And here's the thing, like at the time I was like upset. I thought that I was like, well, I'm not getting him anything. He damages everything. But no, you made it your own.
Well, more than that, when you're poor, you got to make things work.
Right.
Listen, this shirt was going to be like my not only winter shirt, it might be a summer shirt. I mean, it had to have been at that
point. So you turned it from a shirt into a shirt and leg warmers. Because when you're poor, you got to make do, right?
You got to make do, brother.
Yeah. Did you save the sleeves? My dad would have been like, give me those. Those are good rags.
You got to multi-purpose them?
Yeah. We would have had to clean windows with it a week later, if anybody knows anything about that. Yeah.
No, but funny that you mentioned that, because when I came here, I was actually going to bring a long sleeve Seahawks shirt. Like, you just drape it over the chair just for old time's sake.
It would have been done. I would have handed you some scissors and I've been like, here, you want to make it right? Make it right, Donnie. Make it right.
Cut the sleeves off.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing is that I'm proud of you for being an individual. And this is a totally different conversation for a totally different day. But in those formidable years when we first met, it might have seemed like I was standing out, but the reality is I was way too influenced by other people, and I was doing what I thought would be cool. And if I can give past me advice, it would be an individual more.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
don't have to be a people pleaser. And I tell this to my kids, to my girls. I'm like, listen, be an individual. Don't be as influenced by other people, because I'm telling you, people are going to lead you down the wrong path more times than they'll help you. And if you start going based upon what, letting them influence you, it'll influence you negatively. Yeah. And so I think it's really cool. Hats off to you. Way to frickin', looking back, I'm like, now that's actually kind of cool. You took something that you weren't necessarily really into, and you made it your own, but you wore that shirt like,
I wore it
all the time.
Yeah.
And then I came around, I was like, well, that's good. He's got the shirt,
Listen, guys, I had 4 shirts. It had to be one of them. It had to be. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so that's what I had.
It had to be in the
Yeah.
rotation somewhere.
And
No,
then,
you're absolutely right. It's it's you do make it your own. It's easy to be influenced in school because of whatever goes on, and you want to be like this person. You want to be the one singled out.
yeah,
To be not
yeah,
singled out, you got to be a part of something. So you got to choose wisely. And then some people do, some people don't.
yeah,
And I was caught up in that too for a certain period of time until I got out of school, where it was truly like, I don't give a shit. I
right.
don't care. Where it got to be so freeing to where like, hey, that's me.
And that starts, and that's kind of an interesting thing. And I'll have to have you back, because that's kind of like when I started drinking.
Mhm.
I really stopped caring and just, did whatever. And now it was in a negative consort and it was really bad, but
Yeah, sure.
yeah, same thing. Thanks for sharing that. And I'm glad that we have similar memories of us just showing up in each other's lives. And then we've been
Out
a
of nowhere.
constant since then. So that's good. And I'm bringing you on as an expert today because you have this mind blowing list, Donnie, that you have been, and I don't want to say necessarily an expert in terms of you played baseball,
No.
but in terms of being a fan of baseball and supporting baseball and enjoying baseball, I consider you an expert because you have this incredible list of places that you've been for baseball.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And I'm hoping you can share for the listener in Australia and Kenny, if I still got you, and we know Kyle's listening to our boy Kyle Reed.
Oh,
Yeah. Can you share some of these places that you have traveled to
for baseball,
for
yeah.
baseball? Yeah.
It's kind of a funny story that that we mentioned this. So yeah, just kind of quickly recapping is that I became a fan around maybe the same time you did, around '88. Is I'm from '82, so literally I'm like
Right.
5 years old, and I'm just watching something, and I don't grasp what's going on or anything like that.
Right.
When Griffey came on in '99, I was excited, but I didn't know why I was excited. You know what I mean? It's just like I didn't know that he was a hot prospect. He's going to be this. He's
Right.
going to be. I didn't know if he was playing. I knew that he was playing with his dad fine
Right.
in '90 or whatever. But like, you have to understand that growing up, I didn't realize any of that until I
Right.
finally was just like I turned a corner, and was really paying attention, and I got really, really into it.
Yeah.
Like 90, 91, when I think 91 was our first winning season for the Seattle Mariners, a 1977 franchise that, we had to go and sue the league to get a team in the first place,
Right.
So
14 years later, they have a winning season.
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And it's like, being excited. And I can remember I'll get into the list here in a minute, but I can remember my first memory of like being just really jumping out of my seat excited.
Right.
So I grew up with three sisters. So escaping them was like my only refuge, really. You know what I mean? It was just my mom. My dad wasn't living with us, and it was three sisters. So like I snuck myself in a closet and had this 13-inch black and white TV with bunny ears and stuff like that. And
Wow.
I'm secluding myself, and I'm in the closet so nobody bothers me. They know it's like, hey, I don't know where Donnie is. Who cares?
Right.
And I'm watching a game in 1993, and a former Brewer, Chris Bosio, is on the mound or whatever, and he's throwing a snow hitter. And I remember just being super excited. And on that last out with Omar Vizquel throwing to first, I mean, because the ball went over Bosio's head. Yeah, barehanded too.
Yep.
And I just jumping out of my seat. And that was the first core memory.
The no hitter. Yeah.
Right. And not even a Griffey memory. And Griffey's my favorite player.
Right.
Like,
Griffey was there in center.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, I know he was. But and he's my favorite player. But my first core, like, super charged up moment was that moment.
Right.
And ever since then I've been riding. Except for, and we'll get to it. Anyway, so I go through a lull in the 2000s. And by then I've been to the Kingdom maybe twice in my life.
Yeah.
I've been to, Safeco. Back then it was Safeco. Now it's T-Mobile Field or T-Mobile Park.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've become a little bit disenchanted with baseball.
Right.
But I'm a super big Seahawks fan at that time, ironically enough.
I turned you on with no sleeves, and
Dude,
then there you
the
go.
No sleeves thing did it.
Yeah.
I was walking like
sun's out, guns out, go Hawks. Yeah.
So I make some buddies with some people, and we end up going on road trips every year. And for the Seahawks, we go and pick a team, pick a city, and we end up going out. And almost every trip that we went to, we'd go and watch a baseball game too.
Yeah.
So our first trip was down there in San Diego.
Okay.
And so I
got Petco Park.
Petco Park. Yeah. It wasn't. Yeah, it was Petco Park.
Shout out to my buddy Connor, who lives in San Diego. It's one of my good buddies.
Heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been there. I love, first of all, San Diego. Petco Park has a phenomenal stadium. Really, really, really good looking stadium.
They have like a warehouse or something up against, or the
They
railroad
do.
or something.
It's actually part of the field. Like their
What?
foul pole is painted on that building.
Really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
it's painted on. It's part of the place, and it's actually a bar. So when you see people
Oh,
that are
okay.
out on that balcony, they're drinking.
Yeah, they're
You know,
drinking.
they're part
Yeah,
of the party,
yeah.
right? But phenomenal stadium.
They're
It's
in the front row
beautiful.
wearing a tuxedo T-shirt, and they are hammered drunk.
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. Been to Chicago and
Can
saw
go back to San Diego. San Diego has the chicken, right?
San Diego. I mean, not when I was there.
They have that crazy chicken, that mascot.
Yeah, no, they might. I
They
I
might.
didn't see it
Fair
when I
enough.
was there.
And then, so you've been to Chicago.
Been to Chicago, saw the Cubs, Wrigley
So
Field.
you went to Wrigley Field,
Wrigley Field,
historical
yeah.
Wrigley
You
Field.
stay out of Southside Chicago. You can get lost in Southside Chicago. You don't go there intentionally unless you're going to specific places or whatever. But so
I've seen the show Shameless.
Oh, you
don't mess. I've seen this show Shameless.
Yeah.
You don't mess with the Southies. Okay,
you don't. I got lost there once, but that's a different
Scary.
different story. But yeah, so I've been to Chicago Wrigley Field, phenomenal stadium.
Wow.
Great people there, by the way. Really
was
nice
the
people.
ivy up the wall, or was it?
Yeah.
Fully
yeah.
grown. Oh man.
Oh yeah,
cool.
they've kept that there.
Yeah.
Just a couple years ago, I've been to Boston, been to Fenway Park.
So another historic. You've been to Fenway with the Green Monster.
Yes. Fenway is by far, when you see it on TV, you think that this is some huge, granted they have some weird dimensions or whatever.
Right.
It's it looks huge on TV. It's super
tiny. It's one of the smallest, and that's why they have to have the giant monster wall.
A lot of old stadiums are kind of like that, where they had to, hey, this is what the area that we have to accommodate somehow.
Right.
So you might have hey, we got 410 now to right, but we only have 290 to left.
290 to left. Right. Yeah. Right. So what if we build a 60-foot wall?
It wasn't, and it grew. It's like its third iteration of whatever size it was.
Yeah.
But that's by and far probably my favorite ballpark. Just the vibe there is phenomenal.
Have you seen the meme of Ken Griffey Jr. making that catch up against the Green Monster, and they actually took it to where he's like halfway up the monster, and then if you read the comments, people are like, "That's how I remember it." He's like 30 feet in the air making the catch, because they're like, "That's how I saw it." I mean, and that's like the lore that we grew up with, right?
Absolutely, it happened.
That's exactly how that happened.
Yeah.
As sure as shitting that he took the Seahawks shirt and cut the sleeves off of it, Griffey caught that freaking ball halfway up that wall.
It's 20 feet up in the air. Don't ask how it happened.
Yep.
If you ever go there, though, have a Fenway Frank. It sounds phenomenal, but literally, if you've been to
Kroger. Is that like a guy who's there? His name is Fenway Frank. You want me to have him? Oh, it's a hot dog. Oh, I see.
Listen, you do what you want to while you're in Boston. It's a different coast.
It's a different coast. Past a couple zip codes, go over a couple rivers, and then Michael starts getting crazy. Hey, way to go, Schaafy! Hey, yo, Schaafy! Get yourself a Frank in Boston. Get your cockies.
If you've had a ballpark Frank or a Oscar Mayer hot dog, a plain, and threw it in a plain white bun, you've had a Fenway Frank. It's the exact same thing. Yeah. There's nothing special about it.
I had a Fenway Frank the other day. It was we called it a Tacoma dog.
I bet you saved money too.
Tacoma doggy dog. Yeah, I got it at the grocery outlet bargain market.
You didn't have to fly halfway across. I've been to New York Stadium, the new one, the one that they
the new Yankees.
The new Yankee Stadium. Wish I was could have went to the old one, but went to New Yankee Stadium.
And how was that?
It was the actual Yankee Stadium. First of all, it's in the middle of nowhere. You think that you're around the city or whatever. You're not. You're not at all. So it's in a neighborhood.
Okay. It's upstate Albany.
Yeah.
You think that you're going to the Yankees game. It's like when you go to a 49ers game and they're not in San Francisco, they're in Santa Clara, 30 miles south.
You fooled yourself.
Got it. Yeah.
It looks phenomenal though. Like inside it looks historic. Like it was very well built, very well there was elements of that old ballpark that are in the new ballpark, so it's very well recreated. So that looks phenomenal also. I've been to Oakland Coliseum.
And I heard that that's like one of the crappiest Coliseums. It's just, that's why one of the reasons why they lost the team and they're in Las Vegas now.
It's a piece of shit.
I heard that. Yeah, tell us how you really feel.
Well, it's how a lot of people feel.
I just did. That's exactly. I heard it stinks. Does it stink like they have a sewage backup?
I think that's just Oakland in general.
Just easy. Hey, Marshawn Lynch is gonna fuck us up.
I love Marshawn Lynch, bro. I
love mode. That's my dog.
Yeah, Oakland is or Oakland Coliseum, I should say. As you know, it was meant for the Raiders. I mean, so it's a football stadium. It was never meant to be a baseball stadium. They just cross-branded or whatever. So
yeah,
I mean, it was a nice stadium for what it was. I was happy that I got to go there before I can't anymore. I mean, so that was cool about it. But yeah, it's kind of a dump. A lot of infestation, stuff like that going on.
Yikes.
So I've been to, or it says San Diego, LA, and Anaheim.
So
So
you went to the LA Dodger Stadium?
I went to Dodger
Did
Stadium.
you have a Dodger dog?
Yes, I did.
Oh my
I
gosh.
had to have. And I
Um,
sat like all the way up. So there's escalators riding up that place. Friendly people, you know what I mean? And you have to ride all the way up the escalator to get to the very top. So it's at the very top, like dead center by home, like on home
this
plate.
is at Dodger Stadium?
Yeah.
Okay. And so shout out to Angel because Angel's from East LA. He's a Dodger fan. I was talking about him in the last episode.
Yeah.
He listened. Thank you, Angel. I appreciate your support. So he's been to Dodger Stadium. You're probably giving him chills right now talking about
Goosebumps, man.
his home stadium. Yeah.
It's a nice stadium, you know, and it's
Yeah.
one of the older ones. So is
Right,
Anaheim.
right.
You know, they're in the 60s or whatever. But
Yeah.
super nice stadiums. The backdrop for the Dodger Stadium it's phenomenal. Like I
Yeah.
love looking at the backdrop because right there, I actually lost my rental car there. But going, yeah,
Like it got stolen?
no, I wish.
Why did I go there? I'm so sorry. Angel's gonna be like, "What? Come on, man!"
I'd have a better story if I
Yeah.
if I
You
lost
lost it.
Yeah, so I go there and I park, and it's in a neighborhood. Again, it's in
Right.
like you know, you have to. It's not in the city at all. So you go there and you park. And I went early because I got like a ballpark tour. I wanted to
Oh
like
yeah.
enjoy the history of Dodger Stadium, and there's a lot of history with the Dodgers, formerly Brooklyn Dodgers, all that other stuff. So I wanted to enjoy it.
Right.
And when I was there, I parked my car, and there's no park. There's no other cars in the parking lot. It's
Okay.
like me and some staff. And
Yeah.
it takes me a while to find the entrance of where I go.
Right.
And then it got to be around the seventh, eighth inning or whatever, and I feel like, well, I'm going to beat traffic because I'm in LA, and
Right.
my you know, the place I was staying was in Anaheim, so I still had an hour
Okay.
and a half drive out. So I was like, I don't want to
At
fight this
least.
traffic.
Right. Right.
So I get out and I just look at a sea of cars, and I'm like, I'm done. I stayed until like the game was already over. People were already leaving.
Right. Oh, because by that time it had filled in.
Yeah.
That's how you're like, oh crap. You didn't write down like S22 or anything.
No.
Or take a picture of it.
That's why I wish it was stolen, because at least I'd be like, I could tell a story that makes me not look like a complete moron.
Yeah, you literally lost it.
I lost it, dude. I was smart about the place I stayed in Anaheim, because the place was a hotel, and it was just within walking distance of Angel Stadium. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that way you can't lose it.
No, dude, I could lose where I'm at. Like I could be
Sure,
like, where was
sure.
my? But
Yeah.
where's my hotel again?
How many
But no.
Dodger dogs does it take to lose a car in the parking lot? How many Dodger
One.
beers? Yeah, just one. Yeah, one
One.
extra mustard.
It took one, and I don't even have my free giveaway that the Dodgers gave me. It was some Hello Kitty dressed up in Dodgers gear
Yeah.
that people probably would have bought
Collector
for
item.
$80. Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
easy.
Anyway, that was a
Yeah.
great stadium there. Anaheim had a you know, it was
The
kind of a little bit on the
Angels?
more plain side.
Okay.
But it is one of the older ones, so I
Yeah.
thought that was cool. I think they were built in like '66 or something. So I mean, I thought that was really cool. I've been to Colorado. I've been to Rocky Stadium.
It's a Rocky up high, right? And the
Yeah.
air's kind of thin there.
And I
'cause
got a
it's
super high
above sea
seat.
level.
I didn't give a shit about that game because the Mariners weren't playing, but I went there
Yeah.
and I was just like, I want to check out that stadium. My goal, I want to get to the 30 stadium, and that's what doesn't make me special. A lot of people have done it. A lot of people have been
Right,
around or
right.
whatever, but I'm balling on a budget, so I'm just trying to
Right.
get to where I
Yeah.
can. And
Yeah.
it's on the West Coast, super simple to get to.
That's well, I think that it is really impressive, actually, and I mean enough so that I was when I thought about bringing on a couple experts, if you will, for this podcast, you were one of the two people on the top of the list. I was like, I got to get my boy Matt. He played,
Mhm.
collegiate baseball, and then I got to get Donnie because you've been everywhere and you've seen it. And you bring up a good point because not all of these places that you've been to have been to see the Mariners.
100%.
You went to go watch baseball.
Yeah.
Like, I assume when you were at Dodger Stadium, was it an interleague game? Were they playing the Mariners?
No, they were playing that was was in their division too. I don't recall, was it Arizona? They were playing a different team. I saw, so when I went to Anaheim, that's the trip I went to LA, see LA too.
Right.
So the Anaheim game was against the Mariners, and we beat the Angels.
Okay.
And then when I drove down to LA, the Dodgers were playing somebody else. I mean, I
The
don't
Giants
remember.
or something? Or
Yeah. Somebody like that. So I wasn't really paying attention. That's why I left early anyway. Was just like, hey,
Right.
it's the eighth inning. Let me beat traffic. The Mariners aren't playing. Who cares?
Whoop, can't find my car. Looks like I'm going to spend 4 hours in the parking lot.
Looks like I'm staying here.
Yeah,
basically.
I live here now.
Yeah.
Just I'm a Los Angeles. Just there it is.
I'm here.
9021. Nope.
It's a different crowd too. You would think that would be somewhat similar because it's an hour and a half away. Completely different crowd.
Yeah.
In both of those stadiums.
Dodgers rule the world right now, man. I'm telling you. When I, a jump ship to kind of just test the waters last year, Angel and all of my friends that like the Dodgers were very welcoming. They were like, "Come on, man, come watch a winner." And I know you got some things to say. I can see it brewing.
I don't hate the Dodgers. And I don't think that you think I, believe that or whatever. I don't hate the Dodgers. I am so what I don't understand, because I'm not going to use this as a platform to be angry or get upset about anything.
Right.
You have your reasons, like you mentioned last week, about the things that you did for whatever reasons, and I can respect that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I went away, like I said at the beginning of this tangent, I stepped away for reasons also. You know what I mean?
Right.
It can be taxing or whatever. And we all want that feeling of like supporting a winner. And I completely get that. And we'll get on that topic. But
Well, let's get on that topic. I want to bring it up. The unpopular opinion, right?
Oh.
It's the name of the show. Hosted by Schaafy and a pal that he knows. My unpopular opinion is that the Seattle Mariners need to win a World Series in 2026, or they need to just give up and sell the team.
Completely disagree. Completely disagree.
Tell me everything.
So again, do I agree? And you mentioned last week, hey, they need to pick up a few pieces. I completely get that. Hey, I need to step away and support somebody else because this is taxing on my life. It's taxing emotionally and whatever. Completely get that. What I don't get is that it's completely like, hey, by this time you owe me something, and if not, then there's consequences.
It's going to be 50 years.
Yeah, who gives a shit? Like, here's the thing: is that you mentioned, even last week, and I took pieces away from that. Is that there's so many memories tied up in Mariner games for whatever reason, one reason or another. Some of them are great memories. Some of them are like, oh, those are hard to revisit. Some of them are painful memories or whatever. But and you mentioned almost extracting the fact that you were at a Mariners game. Like, hey, I'm going to hold on to those core memories, but the fact that the Mariners were involved, I'm going to completely extract that. And I'm like, how do you do that? How can you do that? Because you're always going to be like, well, I was at a Mariners game, right? And that's going to stay with you. And take in mind, when I mentioned Chris Bosio, who the hell knows who Chris Bosio is?
Mariners fans,
exactly. And so nobody outside of them, or maybe the Brewers.
And he played, because he played for the Brewers and I think Chicago.
Later in his career, he played with somebody else, probably Chicago or whatever. But and that's the thing, I can't separate the two. And
rumor has it in his spare time he played with himself. But then, oh man, just the king.
You've been teeing that up since before recording, I guarantee you.
It's
been
horrible.
Waiting for the time.
We're gonna have to edit that one out. I'm sorry. There's no place in here for fart humor. Anyways, go ahead.
I'm gonna use this example, and I want to get your opinion on it.
Sure.
Is that when the Sonics moved away, when they were taken away, when they were ripped from our grasp in Seattle, whatever the case may be, when they moved to Oklahoma City, we were left without a team, forcefully, right? And so I was just like, okay, well, I'm in a place where I love basketball, but not as much as I did in the 90s. There were a lot of fans that stopped going. There's reasons why they left in the first place. Don't get me started on that. But inevitably, I had to go to a backup plan because I still like the game of basketball, right? Mm-hmm. And throughout that entire time, I supported the San Antonio Spurs. I love San Antonio, probably because of how much I love and respect the Admiral, David Robinson. You know what I mean?
My brother, Chris, would love to be a fly on the wall. That's his favorite team and his favorite player of all time.
Exactly.
100%. And the people old number 50, he was great. He was a captain in the they called him an admiral even though he was a captain in the Navy. Yeah.
And you saw the organization, what they did. They brought on players that you couldn't help, but who hates Tim Duncan?
Nobody.
Self-deprecating. He can go ahead and take a knock on the chin. He's
from the Virgin Islands.
He is?
Kevin Garnett had an interview and he was talking about, they were like, who was like the worst shit talker other than Gary Payton? Like, we know Gary Payton's the best. He's like, dude, Tim Duncan he wouldn't sit there and talk a lot, but he would get you with one word things. Like, I'd miss and he'd be like, almost. And then, go down the field and then like he'd shoot it over my head, turn around and be like, got you. Yeah. And he was like, one word things. And he goes, and it would kill me.
It'd get in your head.
He didn't have to use all the the S talk and blah 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 blah, like Gary Payton talking to 5 different people, talking shit to the vendor, the coach, the player, the fan, everybody at one time. And Duncan was just in there with one word, frickin' just but owning it and killing it, like bank shot in your eye, boom. And he was like, dude, I hated that. Everybody loves Tim Duncan.
Everybody does. They brought on Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, whatever. Yeah. And it was just like I had to use that as a backdrop. But still, even though that was now my adopted favorite team, them winning, because they won a few championships across the years, it never felt anything like, hey, they're my team. even though I've adopted them as my team. So like
Okay.
I can have a playoff game for the Seattle Mariners that feels that much more like that's my team than if the San Antonio Spurs won, the world, the NBA championship. You know what
Right.
I mean? So that's where I was just like, how do you separate yourself? How do you separate yourself from that?
I had completely given up on the Mariners and said I'm moving forward with a different team just to test the waters. And I don't know, I'm really good on the outside of flipping the switch and making it seem like it doesn't matter to me. In the inside, it did. And I talked about that. I did feel like I was cheating on the Mariners.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's not without saying that it's going to be tough to walk away from them. But you bring up a really good point, and it's kind of something I touched on. I can't break up with the memories.
Mhm.
Well, it doesn't matter. That memory is surrounded by the Seattle Mariners, so I can't love that memory and not love the Mariners. Is what you're saying. You're bringing up a really good point to me right now,
Yeah.
and you're making me feel some type of way about it, and I don't like it.
Well, if the
My
Dodgers win the World
feelings.
Series, then you're gonna go right back and be like, oh, that's what it feels like to win.
It's an incredible feeling. Like, it's amazing. Angels listening, like, yeah, every year I have that feeling. Just,
So,
yeah,
and shout out to him, by the way. I don't know him, but I know that as a listener and coming aboard with a fan, you know what I mean? Because there's not a lot to hate about what they're doing
yeah,
unless you're an underdog person. So
right,
like last year when they faced the Yankees, fuck the Yankees. Like I
right.
was
Fuck
totally
the
on
Yankees.
fuck the Yankees. I was totally on board with LA beating the hell out of them. You know what I mean?
Right,
And they did. And I was just like, I was happy for that team, but more so individually, like the Otani, who was never going to get that in Anaheim, or
right,
or I should call them the Angels or not. But
right.
and more happy for like players like that, the Freddie Freeman, who I liked watching when he was in Atlanta Brave, and a
Right.
couple, and Kike Hernandez, who's just a fun
It's
loving dude.
incredible. Yeah.
You
The
know what I
team
mean?
is incredible to watch. And it was fun to watch and listen. I was listening to the games on the radio,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, and this was like really cool because I can listen to the Dodgers on Sirius, and then I can switch over and listen to the Mariners too. Unfortunately, at that time, the Mariners were out. But when the season started, I was listening to the Dodgers really heavily because I was like, man, fully invested. It's tough, man. You bring up a thing though, and I want to talk. And I want to ask you a little bit about how you feel about bandwagon fans, because I think another unpopular opinion is every fan is technically a bandwagon fan. You and I are bandwagon fans of the Mariners because of proximity,
Yeah.
because of geography. If we were raised in LA, do you think that we were going to be Mariners fans? I would have been a Griffey fan because he's amazing.
So when you mention bandwagon fan, the first thing that comes to my mind, and it's been a long time since I've been in school. Sorry, Dan.
Is me jumping
I'm
ship to the Dodgers?
the exact
Bandwagon fan.
But somebody that's doing well, that all of a sudden jumps on that train, and seemingly because they're doing well. You know what I
Right.
mean? So if you liked LA back in the 90s, I would have been like, man, that guy must be a diehard Dodgers fan because they were shit back then. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like now it just seems like, oh, well, that person's a fan of LA, right now because
Right.
of how well they're doing.
And they'll jump off that wagon as soon as somebody else is doing good.
Right.
I don't care. I think that's actually good. And let me explain why. The reason why is because we like to like things that make us happy.
We do.
Even if it's in that 1 year that's where the endorphins came, and that's where that serotonin was released because of these Dodgers, and I decided to watch them play, and it made me feel euphoric, and I couldn't believe it, and I was celebrating with them. And then I'm like, okay, Mariners started doing good, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to pay attention to you again. If there was another team, if Julio and Cal went and played for Arizona, I'd be like, well, I really like Arizona right now because they got my Julio and my Cal, and I love those guys.
Yeah.
So I would have jumped on that bandwagon. And I think it's because I'm accepting of it now, because do what makes you feel good.
Yeah.
If it doesn't make you feel good, don't do it. And that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with that. For the most part, I'm okay, I guess, for me, and once again, different experiences or whatever. And you do whatever the fuck you want to, because at this point, who the
Thank you.
yeah. But I couldn't get on board with that. I like teams, I like players, I like for instance, I like Baltimore last year.
Yeah.
I'm a Seattle fan.
The Orioles.
But it was fun. Like you see a bunch of kids and they're putting it together, and you got Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rushman, and all these different.
Have you been to the Oriole ballpark in Baltimore?
Next year?
Oh, you're going next year.
Well, my hope is they play a back-to-back with Baltimore and Washington.
Yeah,
Close
who does?
proximity. Mariners do.
Oh, do they still have a team?
Oh,
don't do it. Don't do it.
They haven't sold him yet.
Don't
Remember,
do
they
it.
have
Right.
according to you, they have till 2026.
They have a whole other season I'm giving them. Don't do it.
My only issue with that was like, is if for a team like the LA Dodgers to be likable, is that it's kind of hard for people like me and maybe some people that are like-minded or whatever because of how they constructed that team. Now they were smart and they used money, and to your point, it's just like, hey, Mariners spend. And if you remember, when
they're buying a World Series.
Well, if you remember the Mariners right after or right around All-Star break when we picked up Eugenio and we picked up Josh Naylor, it was just like, oh, well, how can we do wrong? And what did we do? We shit the bed.
I kept calling him Eugenio.
You did, and I was just like, I won't.
And I am aware of that when I re-listened to it for effect. You're right, Eugenio, because I was mixing up Eugenio and Gino.
Yeah,
right. So Eugenio.
But they shit the bed. They did terrible. They were on a losing streak up until the beginning of September.
And then they went and won 18 out of 19, which is like.
Right. I remember my best friend.
Baseball teams don't do that.
No, they don't.
Right.
Unless you're Cleveland or Seattle this year.
Or the Oakland Athletics the year that Moneyball was,
yeah.
And they won 21 in a row, which is incredible because that's what they had to do to catch the Mariners and pass the Mariners.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you do what you have to do. But one of my best friends, a season ticket holder, front row, one of my main dudes that I travel across the country with, and he's just like, he mentioned 3 words, and he said, "Fuck this team." We were playing Atlanta in early September. We lost all 3. Fuck this team.
And he said that.
Oh yeah.
And he's talking about the
Mariners.
Mariners.
And he's born in '73, so he's a fan a decade before we were.
Yeah.
And he said, "You know what? Fuck this team."
And he's done.
No. Yes, he made it to almost every single playoff game. He says that everything because it's just like
he's in LA right now looking for your rental car.
Where is he? Where is
that guy?
But
Where's my car?
That's the point. Is that it's so it's a common feeling to be like, you know what, this thing let me down, and I'm gonna put it aside right now because I'm getting too invested. And I don't think to agree with you. I don't have a problem with that.
And I agree with you. And you're making me feel really good. And to be, you said it earlier, being a Seattle Mariners fan is self-deprecating, right? I feel bad. I feel really bad. I want to move forward in life. And this is, our heart-to-heart segment.
Yeah.
I want to move forward in life. I want to get better at things, not buy more sports stuff and root for a losing team. I feel like that's taking steps backwards. And I feel that way. And everybody's like, Michael, they weren't a losing team. They literally went to Game 7 of the American League Championship Series against arguably the best team in the American League, the team that beat the Yankees, right? And they took them further than they've ever been. And to me, it's a failure. To Cal Raleigh, it's a failure. John Stanton, the president, he put out a whole page paper. Did you read that? And he's like, look, we failed.
We did.
Right? We did. And so I'm upset, and I'm like, you got to win a World Series for us then. Like, there's no, and I will be honest. And my friends, Little Tat and Lynn's Tat, are going to listen to this, and because they talk about it a lot. And they are all about the Mariners. I'm in a group chat with them, and sometimes I'm like, I just can't talk about this anymore. But I love what they're doing, so I don't want to just tell them no. But you guys keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry about me. But they think that John Stanton means it when he wrote that letter, and it's different. They think it's different and I go, it's the same shit they say every year.
Every year.
And my trouble is that I unfortunately, fool me once, right? Shame on me, fool me twice. You shouldn't be shaming people. What did George W. say? I just love that.
Yeah, and the franchise has fooled us for 30, X amount of years for that.
Over 40 years, or 40 years of my life.
Well, and I take it like, you have different expectations for different teams. Am I expecting Oakland or the Pittsburgh Pirates as their goal for this season to make it to the World Series? Probably not. Just the playoffs is good enough for them. Right. But we put together a team this year that was set to say, if we don't make it to the World Series and be competitive, then it is a failure. And I wholeheartedly believe that the season was a failure. That's what we set out to do. This isn't just, hey, we're going to be happy if we make the playoffs. Hey, we'll be happy if we get past the first round. No, that's not the team that was put together.
Wild card, fuck the wild card. Jay Buhner, right? He said that, fuck the wild card. We don't know. They have a goal of the World Series. They fell one game, 2 innings short of it. We had the lead, etc. You can blame Barboza. You blame whoever you want. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that, like I mentioned in an earlier episode, is that we should have been stomping those guys. If your goal is to go to the World Series and win the championship, you need to be stomping everybody because that's how you get there.
Yeah.
because
You don't leave any room.
you don't no quarter given. You
Yeah.
got to have that Mamba mentality. So we both see eye to eye on that. I do, and you have opened my eyes today. I really, really appreciate that because you're right. I don't necessarily like all of the memories that I have from it. It's still surrounding with the Seattle Mariners. I can't 100% just give them this deadline and say 2026 or sell the team. So I am easing back. It's still my unpopular opinion. I still think that they need to do it, but I am easing back on the severity of, me basically.
You know what the great thing about that is that in doing so, in letting some of that hardship and hard bad feelings go, you're not taking a step backwards anymore. I think
Yeah.
that's a good step forward. You know what I mean? You're not letting it get to you so much to where if it takes you cheating on the Mariners with the Dodgers for a couple minutes or whatever, I don't think that's a bad thing if it's a step forward.
That was like the eye-opening moment of the podcast, Donnie. Yes, I believe that you are correct and you're onto something there. By me not letting them hurt me, I'm not taking step backs. I'm actually moving forward.
Absolutely.
Wow. Let's give you one of these. This is called progress. My therapist is going to be so proud of us. We're working through it. So, okay. And I hear you. I still have that unpopular opinion. We'll see how it works. We're going to bring on Matt, who played collegiate baseball, and I know he's going to have some really good things about the talent that actually needs to happen.
I'm excited about
because
that.
dude, he's great, and he's gonna remote in from Montana.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. Hi, we're in Montana.
You almost had me fooled as if I was expecting to hear him back right now. I was like,
here he is. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that bringing on somebody that's played the game for X amount of time, the analytical mindset of like, it's going to be a different perspective, which I think is going to be really, really important for the entire conversation.
Yeah. I think that we've had a really good conversation today. I want to thank you so much for being my guest. Have you listened to the podcast that I have a guest on?
Yeah. Well, I've listened to the one with
Amber.
Amber. I was going to call her Amy. I'm really sorry.
She actually has a sister named that. Anyways, so at every guest that comes on Unpopular Opinion with Schaafy and Pals gets a gift.
Oh, I'm excited.
Right.
I'm excited.
So in the past, I go to Grocery Outlet Bargain Market. Okay. Support your local. It's locally owned. And that's one of the things that I love about, they call it Gross Out. And I don't like that.
That's actually a sick name, though.
Yeah.
Gross
Out.
Yeah, I'm kind of on board with it.
No, I hate it. Yeah, my neighbor across the street, shout out Eddie and Kimmy. They call it Gross Out. I don't like that. So I go there and I spend, $5 to $10 on a little gift for you. And so I have it here. So these things, unfortunately, normally you get the 7-Up pound cake, but they don't have it. They were out for the past 3 weeks. I've been looking at it. So I got you what is going to keep America going this holiday season. And I got you the Little Debbie Christmas trees.
Oh, you did?
You know that these are like a big deal, right?
They're
so I got you the big box of the Little Debbie Christmas trees.
Those will be gone tonight, bro.
For being my pal.
No, I'm just kidding.
So I saw this meme and the guy was like, I don't smoke, but I join everybody out there, and he's got a carton of those and he's eating them while they're smoking on their smoke break.
Oh, that's fun.
So enjoy. Thank you for being my pal. I want to talk about and switch gears from the unpopular opinion and the heart to heart and go into the product of the week. Did the product of the week last week? I didn't bring it into the podcast room, but I did bring it today. And this is the zapper. This is the I'll turn the light on for you. Oh, yeah. So this is the fly swatter that you could hit dingers like Cal Raleigh. If you want to dump some dingers and hit some flies and zap them out of existence, and it kind of looks like the Wii controller for playing tennis.
It really does.
Yeah, it's giving off Wii controller vibes is what it's giving. But this thing is incredible. But I have a new product of the week that has changed my life.
I think you guys are going to be excited about this one.
You think they're going to be pretty excited?
Yeah, they'll be pumped.
And this ties in with being a Mariners fan. So I don't do it. I got a poop stool. Dun, dun, dun. Don't worry, I cleaned this. I washed this off.
I hope so.
Dude, let me tell you, this thing has opened my mind and opened my body. Poop stool.
If you've ever seen Mike's knees just raise about this far up off the camera on YouTube, He's been using it.
I've been using it, and I didn't get one of those cheap ones that's just made out of the white plastic and a little bit of rubber. I got the nice one you got to put together with the wood, and it's got the Wu-Tang.
It does look classy.
So this thing is incredible, and I just thought about this, and Miss Pletcher is going to be really, really proud of us.
Oh, she's going to be really proud, yeah.
Because poop stool is a synonym, a homograph, and an equivocation or a pun. And for those of you at home who don't know, since we've had English class together,
yeah, we're experts.
we're experts in English, right? And grammar and things of that nature. A synonym are words that are interchangeable because they share the same meaning. So poop and stool, because stool is the medical term for poop, right? Or feces.
You're really big braining this thing.
I'm big braining it, right? So they share the same meaning. A homograph is a same spelling but different meaning. So like stool, same spelling as a stool and a stool you sit on. So it's either poop or a stool. And then it's a pun because of the wordplay, right?
Yeah.
And then
what you do.
Poop is a palindrome.
Explain to the listeners what a palindrome is.
A palindrome is a word that's spelled the same forward as backward. So like dad or race car or drawn onward.
So, and this is not going to, I won't make this a big thing, but drawn onward, I think you're stretching that. I think you're stretching it a little bit. But I'm going to rock with you right now. But I think it might be a little bit of a stretch.
I see what you're doing there. That's a homograph. Or no, a synonym because you're stretching it. Well, drawn onward. So drawn onward because I used to manage a band and we brought on another band and that was their name. And they were all about palindromes. The lead singer sent me this palindrome that was like the world's longest palindrome, and it was like 9,000 words long.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Like, and when you match it up, it's the world's longest palindrome.
So I'm taking this to Miss Pletcher, Diane. I'm going to take it. And just to make sure that fact checking,
drawn onward.
Yeah. I'll have an answer for you.
Yeah. Taco cat. Taco cat is a palindrome.
That might have been the first one that I knew about.
Taco cat.
Taco cat.
And ammo cat spelled backwards is Tahoma.
Tahoma.
So that's all I got. The poop stool, I highly recommend it, and it puts you into the natural position that you should be. It opened my mind and my bowels. And if you've ever listened to episode 3A, you know that I've had bowel issues in the past when I was in the hospital. Anyways, that's because it all shut down. I do want to do a recap and just say that, okay, you've opened my eyes. The unpopular opinion that the Seattle Mariners need to win a World Series in 2026 or sell the team. Yes, I still think that needs to happen, but you've opened my eyes to where I'm not necessarily leaving all the way. I have 1 foot out the door. Let's say I had 2 feet out the door. And now we're going to put all the pressure on Matt to where he needs to get my other foot back in the door, or he needs to get me all the way out of the door. Maybe he doesn't want me to be a Seattle Mariners fan anymore.
A true 3-parter, you know what I mean? All the best movies, 3-part, you know what I mean? It'll
all
bring
of them.
all back together.
It needs to, or we need to, yeah. And I have a good feeling that Matt is going to bring it. Yeah, so excited. That's good. I want to thank my pal, Donnie.
Thanks for having me on, buddy.
You're so welcome. It turns out that you have not only been a fan of baseball, so you're a baseball expert in terms of all the places, and you weren't even done listing them for the sake of time. Holy cow, I was already impressed, man. It turns out that you're actually an expert in baseball, but you're also a trauma expert as well, because you've been this diehard suffering that you've gone through the peaks and valleys as well. And
you're not a true Mariners fan unless you've been, you know what it's like to lose, and you keep coming back and you keep coming back. Right. It's a true underdog story, and that's why I think it's so exciting.
It's if you're in the dating scene and you're dating somebody and the girl or the guy says, "Hey, are you a reliable person and a faithful person?" You said, "Well, I am a Mariners fan."
I'm loyal.
I'm loyal for sure, to a fault, right?
To a fault, yeah.
So that is all I got. And I just really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm hoping that people enjoyed the show. always stick around after the theme song. I don't know if a lot of people know that we actually do say some things after the theme song.
Oh, really?
Sometimes. Yeah, maybe you should listen to the whole show. The 100 listeners in
Once
the
that
in the
music
one
goes.
in Australia, I do have actually I do get a lot of feedback that people listen from cover to cover.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
important.
I have a listener in Arkansas, my good friend Naomi. In fact, I'm going to bring up her grandfather next episode. There's a little sneak peek because her grandfather played professional baseball back in the day.
Well, what day are we talking
I'm
about?
talking like the day.
No.
Like they had to get jobs in town
Oh, they had to have real. Oh,
while they
they
played.
had to have careers outside
Yeah.
of that. Okay.
And I just want to be able to say the team name, but I have to have it all in front of me. It's going to be part of the notes. So thank you so much. Stick around. And after the show, we have a couple more things to talk about. Thank you so much.
Unpopular opinion, that's the name of the show. Hosted by Schaafy and some pals that he knows. We'll have a heart-to-heart, so tune in and subscribe. It's unpopular opinion and a hell of a vibe. Love it or dislike it, it's all just the same. 'Cause unpopular opinion is there in the name.
So Donnie, people are talking.
Yeah, I'm like, what are they saying?
They want to know if you're really going to throw candy at kids at the Mount Tahoma Thunderbirds League Championship game.
Oh yeah, fuck that. They should be worried. Fuck those kids. They're getting it, dude. They're getting it, dude. 100% absolute. Look, I'm gonna try to aim at Lakewood. It's not a guarantee.
At the
Whoever it is,
Lancers, the Lancers fans.
whoever. Honestly, anybody could get it, but if they happen to get in the way, they happen to get in the way.
This is some of the trauma coming forward. You're choosing violence.
Oh, I have to get my aggression out, dude. It has to come out somehow. I'm not a sit down and crier. I'm not a sit down and bawl my eyes out. I have to get this out somehow, and this is the way I'm choosing to do it.
And you're going to go after the spawn of these people that are right.
Oh yeah, fully prepared, dude. Fully prepared.
Low hanging fruit. The kids
Yeah.
are there,
and it's
for
not going to
candy.
be those. It's not going to be those marshmallow candies. It's full on like Jolly Ranchers. It's full on like you get the hard stuff for
Yeah.
this type of event.
I just had an idea. When they say trick or treat, you say both, bitch. And that's the gift that keeps on giving. That's the double win. That's where you win and they win.
Yeah, the gift that keeps on coming until I'm forcefully removed from the event.
Yeah, we're a little worried about that. So if you go to the game and you see Donnie throwing candy, just know that
I don't like where that's going actually, because I'll be that person that has to be like, I'm not invited on school grounds anymore.
yeah.
And then people are like, well, that guy's a perv, and I'll have
Yeah.
to explain. It's not because
they're going to give you an ankle bracelet, and they're going to be like, yeah, you're not allowed within 50 feet of this school, and you're going to be like, it's not that. I was,
the Mariners.
Yeah, Mariners. They're gonna, what? The security officers and the police are going to be like, oh, did you say the Mariners trauma? Carry on. In fact, here's $20 from my wallet.
Yeah, go ahead and take it and buy some more.
Yeah.
There's another game next
go
week.
get him some more. Yeah, Tahoma went on. Go get him another bag of candy. Go down to the grocery outlet bargain market and get some of those Christmas tree cakes that everybody's talking about.
I'm just going to see the field smattered with all those.
Yeah. This is going to be great. I'm going to be wearing a Lancers shirt, and I'm going to be like, that motherfucker's throwing candy at my kids. I would never. That would make me a snitch. And snitches get stitches and wind up in ditches with other snitches. You heard it here first. Schaafy and Donnie out.